welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, it's nice to meet you. My name is Karen Campbell and I'm the founder of Awesome Art School, and I've also written How to Draw Fun Fab Faces series and my new book Mixed Media Magic. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw a realistic face using a photographic reference. One of the biggest questions I get all the time is, how do you do shading? Where do you put the shading and where do you put highlights on faces when you're drawing? And you have two choices of when you're drawing. First is you have to decide, are you drawing a whimsical face or a stylized face, or one that isn't realistic necessarily? And number two is, are you going to be drawing a realistic style face from a reference photo? So one is drawing from your imagination and the second one is drawing from a reference. And so the answer of how do you know where to put your highlights and shadows depends on the way in which you're drawing to start. If you're drawing from your imagination and you're doing something more stylized, you can also use an imaginary light source, but you do have to kind of pick a place where the light is coming from. So I like to use my friend the foam head, and I'll talk about this more in the video as we get started too, is you need to pretend the light source is coming from one direction or another. So if I have it coming from one direction, this side of the face will be in the sun, this side of the face will be shaded. And you can see right here, this is all blanched out, and then you get this pockets of shades coming on this side. So what I've done is that in my How to Draw Fun Fab Faces book, actually in all of my books, I give you a shading guide so that when you are drawing from your imagination, these are like predetermined areas of the face that become shaded depending on the direction of your light source. So all you need to do is grab like one of these, and then you'll know where the shading goes. As for pops of highlights, that can really be up to you. Oh, and by the way, if you want that shading guide without having to buy the whole book, if you go into the description box of this video, there's a link and you can go ahead and download that shading guide as well. It's a PDF. So as far as pops of highlights, that you can use your artistic prowess to decide for yourself where you want them to go. The shading portions are usually vast and clear, and they help you form the dimension of the face. And then if you want to have, there's like certain little sparks, pops of white, then you can just follow along in any of my YouTube videos or my drawing tutorials. And there's common places that usually pick up a highlight, and usually the places that stick out the most will get a little extra pop. The other way of doing a face and learning where to put the shapes, the shades, and the highlights is by using an actual photographic reference. In today's video, we're going to be drawing from this reference. I got it from Pinterest. If you want to draw along in real time with me today, I've put a PDF in the description box for this reference as well, and you can see there's like a little bit.ly link, and I will send it right to your email address and you can download and print that off. And then what you do is when you're drawing a realistic face is you're actually gleaning the information right from your reference into your own drawing. So the reason I know where to put the shades and highlights is because I can tell from looking at the photograph. So this part is shaded, right? And this is the same light sources that I was just talking about with my imaginary foam head situation, where the light is cast on one side and then it's shaded in different regions on the right. So in a lot of ways this is easier because you're actually using the exact information that you're seeing from the photo to draw in your drawing. It's also harder because drawing realistically is always more challenging because you're trying to get everything exactly perfect, right? So they each have their kind of pluses and minuses and challenge, and they're also kind of different skills, really. So, okay, without further ado, let's get drawing. There's a list of all the links to the supplies I'm using in the description box as well. If you're doing the 100 Fun Fab Faces drawing challenge with me, watch to the end of the video, and that's where I'm going to be giving you all the specifics on the giveaway we're having with that. So stay tuned and skip to the end if you want to get right to the giveaway info. Otherwise, let's draw. Now the exercise we're going to be doing today is going to be on toned paper, and you can do this exercise in any medium. A great way to do this is with doing black and white acrylic paints, but today we're going to be working on toned paper because I love it. It's sort of like a cheat when you're practicing shading and highlights, because all you get to really focus in are the shades and the highlights. The midtones are already drawn for you. They're already colored in by the toned paper itself. The midtone is, if I'm say I only can use 3 colors. So say I only have 3 markers. I need black, a white, and sort of an intermediary color. The black is going to be for the darkest shade, and the white is obviously going to be for our highlights. That's why we're doing this exercise. And then the midtone is somewhere in the middle, and that is, I'm going to use the paper for that. So the result is that you only need to be focusing on and paying attention to literally the shadows and the highlights to make our face drawings. Now, I know that can sound a little bit complicated, but it's actually not. We're gonna transfer this really literally, and you can find all of these projects on YouTube if you want to go back and see more. So I will show you what I mean. So let's draw the face first, and you can make up your own face if you don't want to try to capture hers. That's fine. I'm going to start with an oval, but really what I want you guys to be focusing on this week is the dreaded question, shadows and highlights. I want you to get a shopping bag. If you can't get out to the store to buy some toned paper, you can use a shopping bag from any grocery store. This is her hair. That's why it's kind of coming down. Okay, we got her cheekbone coming back. Now this is so shadowed that it's black, and I can't even see where her face ends and her hair and the shadow begins. So that will literally become black. As black as night. Okay, and here I can see her ear somewhere in here, and her hair is going to be falling down. So I just have her face shape. There's a neck in here. I'm not interested in any of that, and this is going to fade to black, black, black. Okay, so let's get her features drawn on her face. Well, we can do the guideline down the center. I'm going to do my halfway line for the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So one vertical line down the center, halfway point. Now her top of her head is cut off. So her head is actually, the oval is up here a little bit higher, because remember the hair comes down in front into the oval of the face and also gives volume above. But since my picture is cropped, when I draw my halfway point, I have to kind of guesstimate more or less where that is. So I'm going to make it right here. And then here's our mouth and nose again. And again, I mentioned this in the last video. Sometimes when I'm trying to find the mouth, I'll move up from the chin. So we're going to plug in all the features, and then we're going to get going with the shadows and the highlights. So I'm going to have room for the chin. And then I'm going to start with the bottom lip. And I'm not really crazy concerned if this is like super duper accurate, because I'm really mostly concerned about getting across the idea of the highlights and the shadows more than anything else. Oh, there's a lot of people who want to know how to draw teeth. Again, not a habit. I don't make a habit of drawing teeth because they generally don't add much to a photograph other than more than awkwardness. So I tend to really purposefully strongly leave them out because they rarely look that awesome. So you can grab this reference from my Pinterest folder. I actually have a Pinterest board called the 100 Faces Challenge, so I will link to that in the description box as well. So there's her mouth. She's got some teeth awful, awkward teeth. Moving up, I have her little nose here. So you can, I would strongly recommend when you're learning the concept of shadows and highlights to use a black and white photograph, because color is a little distracting when you're trying to just wrap your head around values. Let's get the values first and then move into colors. Okay, I'm doing the bottom of the nose. There's the ball of the nose is here. She has like really dark oval. And so her oval in her, this will be black, oh, sorry, you can't see that. Black, black, black is her nostril. So this, like, this whole line is gonna disappear. You don't see this dark line like that. But kind of getting started, you need somewhere to start, right? And then there's this sort of line here. And then the bridge of the nose. This, whoops, sorry, segues up to her eyebrow, which kind of disappears into the shadow. She has another eyebrow here, which disappears into her hairline. And I usually start off in pencil so that you can erase. Not like our scribble art last week, which I hope everybody enjoyed. I couldn't believe the art that was coming out of there, you guys. The loosey-goosey funness that was showing up on my feed was so fun. All right, this line is a little fierce, so I'm just gonna quickly erase it. Make sure her eyebrows are gonna be even. And again, I stopped seeing this. This dissolves into the blackness again of the shadows on her. And her eyes, she has really cool cat eye makeup here. Now when you're doing realistic pictures, the eyes are like so small. And I realize her face is wider than I have it drawn here. Or I can scoot her eye over a little bit. So yeah, the drawing is like, there's kind of two schools of thought. Not schools, but you have two separate skills working hand in hand when you are trying to learn how to draw. One is the ability to draw what you see. So your eyes are looking at something and you're trying to record it on your paper, right? I'm looking at where her eyes are and I'm trying to replicate what I see, the distances. I'm kind of measuring here, making sure the eye is in the right place. Her eyebrow is already, I can tell, is way too either high or her eyes are too low. I think her eyes are too low. So you're recording information and you're trying to make sure that what you're drawing is the same thing as what you're seeing, right? And that is also a different skill than copying a picture. I look different to me. Okay, now this is week 5. So we should be getting better at some of this. Our irises we know are cut off. Right? We know the proportions of the face. That's why these challenges are so awesome. Now her shadow is really knocking me off my perspective because this is so dark right here and this is all the same value. So it makes it look like this distance is greater than this distance. Okay, so I really have to, in my head, say I know her nose bridge is here and this is the same. Okay, so here's her nose bridge is here and here. So this needs to be the same. So this is where it's good to have both the skills of being able to record what you see and also knowing the features of the face. She's got a little eyelid, just a very thin eyelid here, and thin eyelid here. Okay, so that's our first job, is to record the features of the face. For better or for worse, they don't need to be perfect, but we need something down, because the main part again of this is where are the shadows. Okay. Sorry, I have this like permanent cold, it appears. So a little skinny eyelid, and already I'm just gonna pop in a little bit of hair. All right, you guys are ready? The more I look at this, the more I'm like, what in the world? Her features are crazy wrong. This is wrong. I'm trying to just move on with my life. Good enough. Remember, it's okay to say good enough and move on. Okay, so now we're gonna get onto the shadows portion of this. The shadows are gonna go first and the highlights are gonna go second. Make sure the chin shaped correct. And her. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now I'm going to literally look at my reference picture for information and try to record it more or less accurately. It's harder because my drawing face is bigger than my reference face, but I'm gonna, to keep myself on task, I'm even gonna just cover up this side of the face and see what I can do. Her eyes are still like not matching. I hate drawing realistically. I hate drawing from references. There's so much pressure to be like perfect and have everything recorded correctly. I would much rather make a whimsical face based on my imagination. It's so much more freeing than drawing realistic faces. I hate it. The pressure is annoying, but it's important when we're talking about exactly if you want to do this kind of work and you want to get good or become familiarized with light sources and shading shadows, we gotta suck it up and get her done. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I know that this is black, black, black as night. So I'm going to take my China marker and I'm going to scribble it to make this really dark, because it's so dark right there. And it fades. This is going to be my mid-tone. That's going to be white. This is like the mid-tone right here. You need to identify that first. What is your mid-tone? That means what the mid-tone is, the tone of your paper. So you need to dedicate, like decide. So see the background, whatever tone that is going to match this part. That's the part I'm not drawing on. That's the paper part. So this part is black. And then it like fades up to the mid-tone. So you need to change the pressure of your pencil or your China marker, or change the number of the pencil you're working with. So if you're working with you'd be working with like a B, like a 10, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 B to make this dark, 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 dark pencil. So that's what you would be using right here. Okay, and see, and this starts fading in this shape. Okay, this is sort of a curved line, so I'm trying to, again, record that information as accurately as I can as I scrabble my way across her face. And it comes in towards her mouth. So I'm pressing really lightly, and then as I get towards the shaded, darker portion, I'm going to start pushing down more strongly. Right here. Okay. So charcoal is really awesome for this because you can just blend with your finger. I really want to do a charcoal week, but I want you guys to like kind of get led step by step through these. And we have to do a dude. That absolutely has to happen as well. But you know, really, it doesn't matter, to be honest, if you're drawing male, female, child, it doesn't matter. The process of taking the information from your reference and putting it onto your paper is the same process no matter what. This could be like, I could be drawing an elephant. It's the same. I could be drawing a car. The same of like method of recording the information from one spot to another is irrelevant. It's not, has nothing to do with your subject matter. It's what your eye is looking at. Okay. So I just realized that I need to fade this a little bit more. So I'm pressing down really, really lightly. And I'm also thinking, maybe this mid-tone is actually more moved over a little bit more. And this, her hair, just so there's like a marked cutoff line, is right here. So see how you can't tell where the the dark line begins and that one ends. Okay, so this is gonna fade over here. Again, I'm constantly looking at my reference and looking at my paper, looking at my reference, looking at my paper. And then all of a sudden I realize, okay, well, it skips over this part and then this is black again. So I need to skip over this part and then start figuring out where that nose goes. So I'm gonna put a really light line because this is the direction of, like, the shadow also has a shape to it. And then it goes here. So I'm just drawing this as a reference lines, but that will disappear. Don't want to see, there should be no lines there. It's only the shadow, and it's kind of scary because and then see, this is when I realize, okay, her eyes should be moved over a little bit more, but I'm over it. And her eyebrow is actually way down here. So I'm going to scumble in her eyebrow first, so I know it's kind of in the right place. And again, this is why I hate drawing realistically, because the pressure to get everything in the right spot is annoying. I don't like pressure when I draw. I like to draw to relax. So mean. I don't like you, realism. And then I need to scoop my eye over, but I'm okay that it's in the right spot. It's in the wrong spot. I need to just digest that and move on with my life. So this black is the same black as her eyebrow. It is that black. Okay, and then it hits, I gotta move her eye over. There's just no way. Sorry, eye. You got to scoot. Oops, it's not even the pencil I was using. I was just talking to Jenny Mano. A lot of you guys are doing the Jenny Mano prompts along with the Fun Fab Faces challenge, which is awesome. Jenny is awesome, and we are so tickled that you guys are joining both of us on our Facebook pages to have fun and to learn how to draw. And we were just talking last night about how annoying it is to draw portraits realistically. It's just the pressure, it just sucks all the fun out of it. Seriously does. But there is the skill of it is important because it helps you to teach you, learn how to see the differences in all of these things. So again, I'm just literally following along here and trying to draw what I see. And again, this could be a car, I could be drawing a piece of fruit. I'm just recording the shadows. And so the light source of this project is also, you know, it's facing this way and casting the shadow off of her nose. So if you look on my shading cheat sheet that you have in the description box, this is like one of the options, is that if there's an arrow here and it shows the shading on the other side of the face. So again, if you're drawing from your imagination and you're like, I wonder how I should do the shading, you can grab that reference guide And it'll be like, oh, you could do it like this. And again, this starts to fade out. And then I noticed that it's like right here, it's just a little bit darker as it, like, because the flare of the nostril is right there. So that's like extra dark. And then it fades. And then the nostril area is super dark. And there. And there's like a line under the eye, and then there's another line under the eye. And this just starts to fade to the color of the paper somewhere in here. Okay, awesome. We're halfway done because we're halfway done with her face. Now her nose is a little bit shaded on top of the nose, so I can just maybe put some slight, like barely pushing down here. Boop, 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 boop. And kind of fans out to here. So there isn't quite that line. And then I skip over the bright side until I hit this side. So I'm traveling from left to right on her eyes. And then I need to go back down here. So let's pop in her other eyebrow. More or less. She's got some big bushy eyebrows. And then her hair comes down and kind of interrupts what we're doing there. So what else is dark? So now it's like, how does this darkness compared with this? Well, that's a lot lighter, but there is some, it does get a little bit dark there. So again, you're trying to capture that. And so what does that look like? So it's gonna push down. And now I feel like her eye on this side does need to like move over a little bit. So it's here. I've drawn her eyes like 6 times, but you know, that's why they invented the eraser. It's no coincidence. And then there's like her swoop of the eyeshadow we're gonna see. So draw your things as many times as you need to, that's fine. Of course that should drop down her eyebrow actually, but that sucker is where it's gonna land, so oh well. Now I'm gonna pop back up here for a minute because I'm noticing again, this gradation is really soft. I'm gonna bring it over just a little bit more. And then I push down harder to make this even darker. And when I get really dark, then I usually bust out my Sharpie so I can get things like this that I just went over that in Sharpie to really emphasize how dark those areas are. I'll probably do that because I love me a Sharpie. And then I can start adding a little bit of shading. Again, I'm just trying to record what I see on my reference onto my girl. Now we're gonna have to switch to some, now it's driving me nuts because she's like looking off into space, but like really the chick on my paper is staring right at me. That's annoying. That's like a pupil issue. So I'm gonna need to switch to a marker at some point because I really want to, those pupils need to be black. So they're really more accurate. Okay, so anyways, looking over here, that's really dark too. There's a shadow all along her hairline. And I think her hairline is too high. So I can bring things down here. Boop, 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 boop. And then this is Again, kind of shaded. This is the ugly stage right now. Don't worry about it. It's just super inevitable. And this is all black, 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 jet black. Like from here over is all black. So you could literally push down as hard as you can. And from here over on this side is also, again, I'm just simply recording the information as my eye sees it. And then it's like hair, hair, hair. Okay, and let's go back and add some more shading as we see it. There's some here on the underside of the nose. I have some here on the eyelid. I thought this was hair, but I actually think it's shadow. Again, this is cut off on my paper. So shadow, shadow. I'm gonna hurry up. This video is gonna be like 89 years long. And then again, just looking at my picture, looking at the shading in actuality. There's a little dip right here. Sometimes squinting your eyes will help you see that as well. And then this is like a white expanse. It's like a white expanse. So I'm gonna take my white, and sort of this whole side is sort of a highlight. So I'm going to take my white, try to marker, and I'm just trying to pick, I don't want to color her whole face white. I'm trying to focus on the lightest portion. So if you look at your reference, there's these slight tones changes. Like this is this very slow gradient from black to white. But I only have these two instruments that I'm using, so I can only really do this by changing the pressure, and I'm not doing a hyper-realistic portrait anyways. This is, again, just like a exercise to demonstrate where you get your information from in order to do faces that have light sources and shadows. And, of course, one of the ways to do that is to record from your reference. So that one is lighter. Then let's see, she's got this side like right here. It's quite marked. Ooh, the string is bothering me. Right here. And like here, there's a little peekaboo of white coming through, and here. And of course her eyes, we're gonna still, this is just still doing like basic highlighting. And here it is. And around here. And her nose, and her nostrils under here, and this part of her lip dip thing is very pronounced highlight right there. So again, I'm just trying to record it as I see it. This needs more of like a faded somethingness up here. And sometimes as you like go over it and look at it, like it will start to change because you're really like honing in on these areas and go, oh yeah, I see it's actually really black until about here. Right? And then and then it's even up here. Sorry, you can't see my finger up here. I'm noticing it's a little darker, so then maybe you go over here and add a little bit more. And And then you're like, oh yeah, I see right there. And up here, it looks a little shady. And then here really is like super duper black right here. I'm gonna make that a little bit more blackish. And here it really is so dark. And this is so dark. And then you can start, now you just loosen your pressure. And I'm just traveling, my eyes are traveling down my paper, my pencil is traveling down my paper. And I'm recording as I go. I'm not going to put any highlights over here. This is just going to be that mid-tone. And she has like a big shaded region down here by her mouth is all shading. So like under her mouth, I'm going to void her main features for just a little bit longer. And then I'm going to go back and fine tune them. So under her mouth and like to this side of her mouth is really dark. It really is so dark. But then something happens around her chin, it kind of lightens up again. She almost has a line under her chin. She does appear to have a line because you can see the break between her chin and her neck. And then the shading kind of resumes here. Okay, so she's coming to life. Okay, and her chin. So her chin has this like slanty part. So this is a slanty part. And then it gets a little bit lighter here. And again, I'm just trying to transfer this as fast as I can. Under here is shaded, blah, blah, blah. All right, now her nose needs a little bit more help. So she has, like on this side, again, there, see, I don't have anything over there. And I still need this to fade. This is really dark under this side. And then it's like really dark above her lip where they meet. And this is like a mash of light and dark places. So do your best to fade them as best as you can. It's so not easy. But these China markers are a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to a pen because I need to define certain things. The lines that you do see on her face, I can sharpen up a little bit with pen. So I'm gonna grab some. All right, I'm just grabbing, I have like a myriad of Sharpies. So I figure Sharpies are pretty readily available. So I'm gonna outline her eye. You can use microns, you can use really anything. And try to outline her eye a little bit. Now that I've drawn it 3 times or 4 times or however many times. And it's funny, when I'm zoomed in this closely, I'm finding more and more things that I like need to adjust. And that's kind of the beauty of drawing, I think, is that it really helps you to just like zone out of the world and zone in what you're doing, which is pretty cool. I'm giving something my absolute attention. And there's not much that gets my absolute attention in this crazy busy world. I try to give it to my kids. But other than that, it's hard. It's hard to zone in like that. All right, her nostril is this black. So these areas that need to be like jet black. And then this, because when you're drawing, and again, I cover this all in my drawing days class, but you really learn what the importance of value, and everything appears to your eye because of the relationship between light and dark. So you're right to have so many questions about how to do it. It's just fascinating that you can do it using a chart based on imaginary light sources, or you can go full realism if you want to also. Choice is yours. I take fake-ism over realism any day. Plus, I like to pick dramatic views kind of myself that are inspirational because they're so dramatic, and then kind of recreate them in a fanciful way. It's really fun. So if you notice, I did the pupils, the nostrils, and then really the mouth line too is like jet black. Not the bottom, not so much the bottom lip. So now I'm going to start getting into trying to add some shape and value to the lips. And again, because it's a black and white photograph, you're just really transferring the information as best as you can. Add room, we're going to add a little highlight there, but not yet. We're not ready yet. There's these lines. The lips are made up of these lines. Ah! Look at my... This is ridiculous. It's like not even breaking. Thanks for staying with me, China marker. I think I'm melting it into shape here. I did a bad job of peeling. Just so you know how these work, by the way, there's a string here. You peel it back, and then it cuts the little shaving. It cuts this off like this, and then you can peel, and you peel it all the way up, and then it exposes more. This one I just did a really bad job, so it peeled it like crazy. But I'm struggling through. Okay. And then also what's solid black is like inside her mouth, between her teeth. It's totally black. So again, when people say, I want to learn how to draw teeth, is really what you're saying is I want to learn how to see the teeth so that I can recreate that on my paper. It is true that drawing is really just learning how to see. It's fascinating. So I'm not drawing the teeth as much as I'm drawing the spaces between her teeth in black. And then teeth start to appear out of them. It's really, really dark right here for some reason. And it's like, boom, there she has teeth, and they're different sizes, and then you're like, oh crap, and then you're like, oh well. Welcome to my world. Oh well, good enough. Moving on, eyes. Let's go back up here to the eyes. Again, the pupils should be the darkest. Just ignoring everything else for just a minute. Even though she's in an ugly phase, I need to take a little bit bigger marker and make this more exaggerated. Again, I'm just trying to record what I see, and to me that looks really black. And then this becomes all one black phase. So I'm working right here and it all comes black, and then this is a highlight out of it. So I'm gonna try to recreate that as best as I can by pushing down really, really dark here. Really, really dark under here. With my super duper wonky China marker that moves over closely here. And I'm noticing, you know what, this area really is so dark. Oh my gosh, it's so wonky. I need to switch. And under the nose. Oh, I haven't even done this part yet. That part is shadow. Under the nose is always shadow. The advantage though to also doing more realistic pieces is that you do learn the things that stay true. So you learn that pretty much always it's shaded under the nose. So when you do work imaginatively, you're like, oh, yep, I know there should be a shadow always under the nose. Also have highlights coming off. Okay, so her eyeshadow, she's like really cool eyeshadow. Well, first we have to do a really light shading for her eyes. I'm just gonna have the spokes coming out around her eyes, just pushing down really lightly. Because of course they're not in color, but they're probably a very light color. And then in her eye, it's like almost totally dark in there as well. And this side, it's very dark in there. We are so getting there. Then I'm going to take this and we're going to draw her eyeshadow, which is so super cool. Love me a cat eye. And for those who haven't done my mixed media free tutorial, I'll link that too, but we do a really good cat eye. I just made this one way too big. I got really excited. It does not go out like that. And this one, you can't even see it on this side. I'm assuming it's in there somewhere. That would be weird if it was only on one side. And then she has like these eyelashes, which you can totally see. Kind of coming off there. Alright, let's bring in this girl home. Alright, so what else is white? Her teeth are not super bright white. So anytime you have the not super bright white, I'm going to use my Sharpie, this China marker. They're actually not even as light as that. She gets a little bit of lighter areas on her lips, here and here. We already did that. We already did that. She's going to have a very punctuated. So again, I'm just going around and throwing highlights where I try to see them. So we have here, this is all. Ooh, we have this. If any part is really like punched out, I'm going to hit that with a white marker. Her teeth are not, I'm going to knock them back with some black because they're not that well defined. I'm going to darken up her lips. Her chin almost has like a, she's got like a little bit of like Tom Brady kick in here. And then this. Nose. Oh, sorry. I'm working up here. Oh, this stupid string is in my white. Oh, and her eyes. The whites of the eyes is really important. That one you can't even see. This one right here. And then she's a really big, and this is super important, is get a really good white gel pen or Sharpie. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up like the parts that are really sparkling and glowing towards me. I'm going to repeat. So she has one here. Posca pens work really well. If this doesn't work, I'm going to go grab one of those. So this is really highlighted, and then this is really highlighted, and then this is really highlighted, and then she's a really big one right here also. And then also this, which we already did. In her eye. Her nose has a real big twinkle here. On her nostrils. And again, I'm just recording what I see. I'm not making this up. So again, highlights can be where you see them or where you make them up. I'm just recording the information that is in front of me on my paper. See this? If you look closely, it's really bright right there. And so that's what I'm doing. Oh, draw. And then we need some serious I need a good, oh, here's a Posca. Yeah, I need a good dollop in her eye, right on her pupil. She has like a dot over there, and then on this side as well. Yeah, if there's, and then if there's anything else that you didn't get, now's the time. You can also, it's really cool to put some highlights in her hair. Oh, this is also needs to be. Looks super weird to me that she has this eye thing that's like, her eyes look really different, but they look really different here. Look, she's got the cat eye and then no cat eye, but this cat eye is a little ridiculous. So I'm gonna go in with a Sharpie and kind of go over to cover that up. Cheating is totally permitted. Or you can just call it artistic licensing is totally permitted. Okay, this is my big fatto Sharpo. This is like a Magnum PI. So I don't want to be here all day. So what I can do is, I'm blocking in the areas that are absolutely jet black. Like this area here, and this area here. And then what you can do is you can lace through some white. If you want to put a pop of white here as like a highlight. You can kind of do something like that. Be artsy fartsy. But yeah, and then if you want to take a step back and you can kind of like go back and color in if there's any other spots that aren't making sense to you. It's really good, important to take a step back from your work and make sure you have it recorded in a way that makes sense to your brains. Yeah, and you can make changes as necessary. This needs a little bit more of a softening here. You can go back in here and add more shading. You can add details if you want to the like eyebrows. Her eyebrows look a little strange. Like adding in individual hairs. Erase the one underneath it. So layering the Sharpies on or under the China markers works well also. Yeah. Don't forget to have fun. Relax a little bit. Try not to take any of this too seriously. And you can punch up the whites anyway, like, and if you're not sure where to go, then get a picture and try to simply record what you see. It's a very cool exercise. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and I so look forward to announcing the winner of the giveaway tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 10 a.m. So Saturday, 10 a.m. we'll be doing the big giveaway. And again, I'm giving away these watercolors by Xanadu Art Studio, as well as free enrollment into my Drawing Days course, which is a $100 value. So I hope to see, well, I hope you win. And also, for those, if you're interested in signing up, I think I need to do like a coupon. So let's see, how about we do 40% off Drawing Days price with a coupon code I love to draw, and it's gonna look like this. I love to draw. Okay, and that will get you 40% off the Drawing Days course, and that is at awesomeartschool.com. I will see you guys tomorrow for the giveaway. Thanks for being here. Bye. All right, you guys, how did you do? Oh my gosh, was that so hard? Maybe it was easier for you because you're drawing from a photograph, or maybe you thought that that was harder because you're drawing from a photograph. I think it really depends. Again, I think I said this in the video, it's very stressful for me. I don't like drawing realistically as much because there's so much more to worry about. Like, I hate worrying about being perfect, and I like just doing whimsical girls. It's like, who knows what she really looks like? I can just do whatever you want. But there is definitely a huge benefit to practicing drawing realistically, even though it doesn't want, that doesn't end up being like your thing, because oh my gosh, it makes you a much better artist, really, because you're practicing, really honing in on your seeing skills, and it can really take your art to the next level if you practice on realistic, using realistic references. And then when you go to draw in a stylistic or whimsical way, you actually have so much more information in your head that you can draw from. So just kind of keep that in mind. And also be gentle with yourself. The activity we did today was like pretty intense, and it was like up many levels from the fun drawing prompts that we've done before. So be kind to yourself, practice. You know, you can try a different medium. This exercise will work great with charcoal or even just regular pencils. You can do this really with any medium, and it segues into like painting in color, but you really need to understand the values in black and white before you can launch into the color portion of this. So I hope you had fun. All right, so this is just a recap where we are in the Fun Fab series drawing prompt. This was number 5. Again, I'm making a playlist to all of these videos on my YouTube channel. I will link to the previous drawing prompt videos for this challenge in the description box, along with the PDF for the face shading and along with the PDF for the photographic reference. So for the drawing, I'm announcing the drawing winner tomorrow. So in order to be in the giveaway, you have to have left a comment on prompt number 4, which was scribble art, which is what I did last week. And the winner will be receiving these free handmade watercolors by Xanadu Art Studios, as well as free enrollment to my Drawing Days course at awesomeartschool.com, and that's a $99 course, and it goes over, it's basically like drawing for the beginners. Everything from beginning Zentangling fun to shading to creating 3-dimensional shapes to finding out what your style is, if it's realistic or whimsical. We do more faces in there. It's like the whole kit and caboodle. So one lucky winner will get that as well. So I will see you tomorrow live on YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be posting that afterwards as well. So if you missed the live portion of it, you can still find out who the winner is after I post it to my channel. So relax about that. Thank you for playing. If you want to tag all your drawings, 100 Fun Fab Faces on Instagram, and if you want to come and join my Facebook group, I would love to see you there. I'll put the link in the description box as well as right here. You can just search Awesome Art School on Facebook and you will find me and my group there. So you guys, we have almost 1,000 hashtags already on Instagram, and I'm so happy that everyone is playing and having fun and learning, and you guys are kicking some serious artistic butt. So thank you for playing. I hope you enjoy this video today, and I will see you guys tomorrow to see who the giveaway is, as well as next Friday for the next drawing prompt, which will be 6 of 20. All right, thanks guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.